seekers and dreamers, wondering where this journey's leading, questioning your place and purpose.
Hi friends, welcome to day 10 of my 30-day video blogging challenge. This is just for me, and if you're watching and you tripped over this through your scrolling or through your video YouTube searching, I also wanted to share with you two things. One is check the description below to skip ahead to today's reading. Secondly, you are welcome to subscribe to my channel. This way you get alerts for when the next video logs come out. Again, this is my own personal practice right now for just my ability to record, reflect, and recreate each day newly. Cool, so let's go into a couple reflections. It's been truly amazing. Right now my heart is filled with so much gratitude for life, the cosmos, and incredible friends. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. What I'm really grateful for is the ability to share my knowledge and all the things that I've accumulated throughout my experiences in various domains with others, and to be able to, in that sharing, give them a leg up in the things that they really want to accomplish. So there's three main reflections that I want to share with you today in terms of just what's been happening in my life. Number one is that I mentioned in, I think, 2 video blogs ago that I joined this group called Positive Intelligence. The two main things that they talk about in this Positive Intelligence course is how we have, on one hand, our saboteurs, or the saboteur voice, that little devil voice that we often hear, and then the sage distinction, the angel voice that we have. It's very unique about these saboteurs. Number one, and I'm going to flash also who are the saboteur allies, or who are the different dimensions of saboteurs. And what I find really insightful is that these saboteurs, at least the first quality of them, is that they're all about short-term comfort, familiarity, and short-term gain. While the saboteurs, they're sneaky, they give us this sense of winning the battle and being in our familiar states and comfort zones. They inevitably have us lose the war. On the other end, when these saboteur voices come online, there's also this aspect of ourselves, which is the sage, which looks at what is the opportunity within the breakdown that we're experiencing or within the conflict that we're experiencing. And that opportunity usually only presents itself when we take a moment to breathe, relax our nervous system, activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our ability to stay calm and stay centered. And it's from that place that intuition and insight arises. If you haven't checked out my 5 waves of thoughts from Buddhism that is in one of the previous video logs, maybe you can check the link here, and that'll take you over to the 5 waves of thought, which I think are really powerful. So number one, that's been very insightful to see who my saboteurs are and where they lurk their ugly little heads. The saboteur has 9 different allies that come up online and check us out when we're experiencing heightened levels of conflict or stress. So I'll just read through them real quick, and then I'll flash my results, and it's quite insightful. So number one is the hyper-rational ally. So this one is all about just rationality, is thinking, overthinking. A lot of the work that I do is around strategic development. So it's really designing the chess game and working backwards from where we want to go to where we are. There are definitely times where I can certainly overthink certain things, and that's where the hyper-rational saboteur ally comes in. Second is the stickler, the one who is all about details and sticking to details and can get into kind of micromanaging. Third is the controller. Pretty self-evident, controlling all the details and managing everyone's emotions apart. 4 is a hyperachiever, where that's that part of our saboteur identity that feels as though our identity is so tied to the achievements and the results that we create in life. Next is the avoider, pretty self-explanatory, avoiding uncomfortable situations and experiences and sensations. 6 is the pleaser. People pleaser, accommodating part of ourselves, a chameleon part of ourselves, a part that we feel we need to adjust or accommodate to others. So that's the pleaser. Next is that aspect of ourselves that's restless, that needs to be doing something all the time. Number 8 is hypervigilant, is when we become very vigilant. This is really when our fight, flight, or freeze aspects come out. Maybe you're someone who has gone through deep conflict in your life and you've built the strategy of having to protect yourself. That's where the hypervigilant aspect of ourselves comes in. And last, and the final one, and this one I think we can all relate to, is the victim. The aspect in us that says, woe is me, why did this happen to me? And looks for causes of things that are happening outside of ourselves and relinquishes any sense of our own personal responsibility in things. And of course, I know that things happen in life and we all have gone through various types of suffering. So I don't want to take that away from everyone, and nor do I want to take that away from me. But there are lessons in that suffering as well. And that's where, when the sage arises, the sage is able to identify the opportunities, the gaps, and can ask for help within having a sense of clarity of what it is that we want to do and what it is that we want to achieve. So that's the first share, is around these Saboteur and Saboteur Allies. Second thing I wanted to share is yesterday, y'all, had a really great conversation with a new friend, who is helping me with some sales work for another project that I'm working on. Now she wants to create a digital media marketing company, just beginning the early stages of that. Something that y'all may not have known about me is that about 15 years ago, that's when I started my first web development and online marketing company. This is when social media had just hit the scenes, Facebook ads were just coming out, and I've gone through quite a roller coaster ride in business development, starting up my own kind of solo outfit. At any point though, I had either 1 to 2 or 3 other co-founding team members. And then this last round, I was in India from 2016 to 2019, roughly close to about 3 years. And I was part of an organization called Business Networking International. They have chapters all around the world. So if you're a business owner or a solopreneur, that's a great community to plug into. And within 7 to 8 months, I had an office and had a few designers that were managing projects. Unfortunately though, during that time in India, this thing called demonetization happened, where they were basically replacing all the currency that was in circulation at the time with new currency. And so my clients couldn't necessarily afford to pay me, or there were many delayed payments, and eventually I had to wrap that shop up and I came back to the US. But then the last couple of years, about a year or two since I did that, I became certified in neuro-linguistic programming, hypnotherapy work, and started coaching. And that's when I launched my performance coaching business. So if you're an entrepreneur, you're a solopreneur, you want to start a business, just go for it. Just absolutely go for it. And what I loved about the conversation that we had yesterday was I was sharing with her how to best leverage a lot of these AI tools, ChatGPT-4 Plus, as well as Bard, to be able to identify the concerns of the market that you want to serve. And then how can you truly and authentically serve the people that you really care about by utilizing the skills and the talents that you want to develop within yourself. So it was just a beautiful, wonderful meeting. It was so great because at the end of it, she really thanked me for my time. And I just know that within those 2 hours that we chatted, probably saved her 20, 30, 40 hours of banging her head against the wall and having to learn some of these things by herself. So if you are someone who wants to start a business, feel free to reach out to me. Place a comment, your email in the comments, and I will be happy to reach out to you and have a chat with you. Free chat to share insights and knowledge. The third thing that I want to share with you is that yesterday, one of the things that I am actively involved in is understanding financial education and financial literacy. Every Monday, a group of my friends and I, again, this is all free resources, we get together and we actively support each other in what it takes to increase or elevate our financial health, financial literacy, and actually achieve those long-term plans and goals that we have in our minds. So whether it's getting married, whether it's buying a house, whether it's having children, all these things have costs related to them. Or whether it's repairing your debt, whether it's credit card repair, all of these things have solutions. However, in this financial education world, it's this pay-to-play environment where if you don't have a certain amount in your bank account, a financial advisor just won't even touch you. As someone who is an immigrant who came to the United States when I was 4 years old, while I have well-to-do cousins who are living in their own worlds, even in my seeking of understanding how they got to be that way, nobody necessarily readily shares. And so I don't like that. I feel as though that financial education, financial literacy should be available to everyone. And these are the kinds of things that should be taught in schools, but sadly aren't. So one of my colleagues, he's a young man in his probably late 20s, early 30s, has a partner, and they both definitely want to create an amazing life over the next 5, 10, 15 years. What was so beautiful is that they both attended, again, this free meeting that we have every Monday. You can also join via Zoom. And he was able to really see how through very systematic, practical, and daily habits and shifts, he could actually build long-term wealth for himself. Today, he met with one of my friends where what we do is we provide free financial needs assessments for people. Again, they're free, where you get to see a roadmap of when you want to accomplish these different milestones in your life. And so today he had that meeting and he was super excited and jazzed to actually see a roadmap of when he can pull out cash flow, when he wants to make big purchases like a home or a wedding or things like that. And what are those financial instruments that are available that can give you actually anywhere from 9 to 13, 14% return. But you have to really sit down with someone who knows what they're talking about, who is licensed in this area, and who's willing to share that knowledge for free. Being an immigrant and someone who is an advocate for all people to grow and expand and elevate, particularly immigrants and minorities, this education is so powerful. And I feel so delighted and grateful and just so full knowing that this colleague and good friend is now clear on the path that he wants to be on and the things that he wants to create. So these are the 3 shares in terms of my reflections since our last video blog time together. And let's jump right to it. And let's go ahead and pick a card. So here's what we're gonna do. Here we are. Okay. Oh, guess what? A card just dropped. So that's gonna be our card. Let's see what we have. We, the Hathors. Deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. Wow. Okay. So again, this reading is for you. However way you tripped over this video or this vlog, the message of this card is for you. Here we go. We, the Hathors. Deep love, mother's milk, birth as a portal. Birth is a portal that ushers in new life. The Hathors are here to remind you that you are a child of the Cosmic Mother and you're being called to be held by her deep, never-ending love and embrace. This is a tender, nourishing card reminding you to receive the deep love of the Mother's embrace. The Hathors know that the journey on earth can be rocky and lonely at times, but you're being reminded to rest more deeply in the Mother's arms. This is a card of extreme potency, of femininity, of creation, and of birth. You're being called to mother yourself and others too, to surrender to your sacred femininity, to create and surrender to your own creations, to hold and be held. You're being called to remember your place in the web of life and to realize that the Cosmic Mother is watching you every step of the way. You may be going through a transition right now, moving from one way of being to another. If so, you're being reminded that you're cradled in a sacred container, that you're more held than you can possibly imagine, and you have access to more love than your heart can bear. If you're struggling in any way, you're being reassured that things will work out, even if they don't seem like they are right now. Open yourself to receiving the overflowing love of the Cosmic Mother, flooding toward you from every direction, letting it stretch your heart. Starseed activation. Place the card on the portal of your heart and whisper the following: I allow the deep love of the Cosmic Mother to wash over me. I am loved. I am held. What a beautiful card. What I'm feeling called to do is to pull a second card. So we're going to do a second card to build and stack onto this one. Okay, let's see what that card is. Here it is. Beautiful. I remember. Oh, wow. So this one stacks on top of the earlier reading. I remember. Soul plan. The fated life versus the destiny life. There was a moment before you were born when you chose the conditions of the life you're living right now. When you plotted out these exact moments along the timeline of your life. Have any of you ever experienced flash forwards or deja vu moments where you feel as though you've lived this experience before, this moment before? This is what they're talking about. We live in a world of free will, and therefore these moments become our destiny only through saying yes. The fated life is the one we were born into. The destiny life is the one our soul chooses, and it takes courage and faith. If you pull this card, it's because you're likely now face to face with the choice to follow the destiny life over the fated life. Wow. To trust the path your soul is calling you toward, and to remember that this moment was prearranged on your life's time plan. You may find yourself at a crossroads, at a moment when you're being called to make a decision, to keep walking the perfectly laid out path before you, or choose the one less traveled. You may be facing a change of career, a new relationship, a difficult decision, or something else that requires courage and faith. You're being invited to remember your soul's greater plan and to surrender to it. When you're confronted with a path that's undefined, it's normal for doubt to rear its head. In fact, this is a certain sign that you're facing your soul's greater plan. Every hero, every Shiro in his or her life journey comes eye to eye with doubt. The only way around it is through it. It's all part of the larger plan. Wow, it's incredible. Starseed Soul Inquiry. What are you being called to do to surrender to your soul's plan? Phew, that is so powerful. What I get from that reading, combining both the Hathors and I remember, is to keep up with my prayer practice, keep up with this practice, keep tuning in to what insights want to come through. Also, to keep, I like to say it, you've got to name it to tame it so you can claim it, is feeling worthy. One of the things that I've often struggled with, and perhaps this is you as well, is not so much failure, but actually embracing our own power. Because when we embrace our own power and shine our own light, it can be uncomfortable and it can be scary and it can feel lonely at times as well, especially as we go through this passage of the portal. And these cards are reminding me, and hopefully you too, that support is right there around the bend, and that you are held in your authentic self and your authentic expression of what it is that you want, what it is that you desire, and that you are worthy of having that. As we normally do at the end of every vlog, is to share a prayer. The prayer that I'd like to share today is the prayer to call in and invoke the consciousness of Hanuman. Mythologically, Hanuman is depicted as a monkey god, and mythologically is a half human, so to speak. The father of Hanuman is Vayu, which is the god of wind, and was born to a human mother. However, when we think about Hanuman as a concept and as a phenomenon, it's all about surrender and meeting the moment the way the moment needs to be met. And the prayer that I'd like to share with you, let me share that first, and then I'm going to chant it 3 times, but is Shri Ram Dutaya, which is the servant of God, Hanumantaya, invoking that energy of servitude, of being the best vehicle that you can be, Mahapranaya, that may I have great intelligence of all sorts, the intelligence mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And Mahabalaya is great strength, being strong mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and socially, in all the different ways that strength is. So I invite you to take a deep breath. You're welcome to close your eyes and just listen to the vibrations as they move through you. Shri Ramadutaya Hanumantaya Mahapranaya Mahabalaya Namo Namaha. Shri Ramadutaya Hanumantaya Mahapranaya Mahabalaya Namo Namaha. Shri Ramadutaya Hanumantaya Mahapranaya Mahabalaya Namo Namaha. Thank you so much for staying till the end and for following my journey, and peace and love. See you next time.
Wondering where this journey's leading, questioning your place and purpose. I promise you it's worth it.